Hello, welcome back to the channel. Good to have you back. My name is Benji. I'm the controversial cyclist. I want to get straight into this. So, right, okay, today's video is about Reginald Scot. Now, Reginald Scot, if you don't know who he is, he's got a subscribership on YouTube of around about 11,000 subs. He is, I would say, well, say what he is. This is my personal opinion of what I can make out. He's a cycling traditionalist. He is a bike mechanic. By the sounds of things, he does have a shop. But the reason that I'm making this video is this is not a hate video. This is nothing against him. It's highlighting an experience that I had with him, and I was a bit left dumbfounded, really. I've agreed with some of the stuff that he said. I disagree with a lot of the stuff that he's saying now. I think there's a lot of contradictory stuff. I'm not turning on him, by the way. But I do want to share this experience that I had with you. Now, I can't back a lot of the stuff that he's saying, so I think it's absolutely fucking gobbledygook, and it's tribalism as well. It's tribalism because everything, and this is cutting a long story short, this is my opinion, everything that he sees and that he's got and that he does is the best way. So he rides titanium, it's the best. You know, he's got a steel bike, it's the best. Before that, he had an aluminium bike, it was great. He had a carbon bike and he didn't like that, so carbon's crap. You can't say something's crap because you just don't like it. You just don't like it. You know, to try and come out and start trying to use science to debunk or to say why something's crap because your own personal taste, it just doesn't work. And people do believe it though. You know, there's enough people that will believe that titanium road bike frames and rim brakes are the best thing ever. Or, you know, your old steel bike with a hooter on the front is the best thing ever, and it's just absolute bollocks. And you can see a lot of this is people controlling a narrative with their own ego. So let's just get into the strange experience that I had with him and the strange demands that he made on this channel. If you go back a month ago, I made a video in response to his spat, his online spat, that I believe now was either a controlled spat between Zero Friction Cycling or was basically done to help them both out. They both will gain views and subscribers from this. Now, I thought it was a bit strange, to be honest, and I still can't believe the way that it went really. I have agreed, like I said before, with Reginald Scot previously and some of the stuff that he's doing. I like the fact that he's a traditionalist cyclist. I do like that because I think once you lose that and you lose the tradition in anything, you're going to lose a lot of design. You lose a lot of history as well. But let's go forward with this situation. And going forward, I made that video and I did say to him, look, what the hell are you doing making, you know, your chain waxing method is absolutely insane. Now, I don't want to back up Zero Friction Cycling, but he was exactly right. And he was smashing him, calling him the Reginald and everything like that. But he was exactly right. What the fuck were you doing with this 45-minute experience of how you wax a chain when clearly it can be done in under half the time? Bought endless amounts of kit, and it just looked like it was a hatchet job against chain waxing. Now, I'm not a chain waxer, but I don't denounce it. I do denounce probably that there's very little proof in the gains of chain waxing, you know, performance gains. But then I do that with oil lubricants as well, because a lot of them are absolute shit. So on both sides of that coin, whether you're a chain waxer or you only use wet lubes, you know, both industries talk absolute garbage, the manufacturers, about performance enhancement, much like everything that we deal with. Now, he must have taken offence at that. But what he did is, I referenced a news article from Brew Sports, which is Brunei Sports, and that link and that article was shared by Zero Friction Cycling, and I did make it clear in that it's like Zero Friction Cycling in the comments was like, who he really is, Reginald Scot. He's got another name, Ali Abdullah, and I was just like, look, I think that's wrong, because if someone else has a different name for their, you know, for religion, just leave it out, man. You know, just leave them alone. That what we follow, what people's religious beliefs are, they are. You know, we're not gonna riding a bike is not there's not a religious divide. with a bicycle. So there might be a political divide in some places with the bicycle, but I don't think it's gone to religion yet. You know, it's the most used method of transport that there is on the planet. So that's why I was dumbfounded why he took such offence. But he wanted me to remove that article. Now I didn't know why. I thought it was potentially to do with the actual video that I made reference and saying, look, you know, your chain waxing video was abysmal, and it looks like you built this up to crash it down deliberately. And he spent 2 months maybe making out that he was going to have this chain waxing experience, and he actually, and whether he said it or not, the way that he came across was that he did quite like, or seemed to be, taking a lot of information from zero friction cycling, which, you know, take that information with a pinch of salt, I would say, because of a lot of the testing methods that he's using are in controlled environments, and, you know, I wouldn't say they're conclusive. And also OzCycle. Now, OzCycle, I've made previous videos on OzCycle, and that's one dude that is one absolute fucking nasty piece of work. Now, go back and have a look on that. Yes, that happened outside of cycling, but, you know, I wouldn't listen to a fucking word he says based on what he was capable of doing, and based on the capability of, when he went to court, the fucking bullshit that he came out with, in my opinion. And obviously the judge thought that as well. That's why he went to prison. But why would you take information from people that are quite lowly rated? Now, a difference of opinion doesn't matter. Maybe he likes these people, but then he turned on both of them, and the whole chain waxing experience was laughable that he gave us, because it was a fucking hatchet job, and it was aimed at zero friction cycling. Now, like him or not, he does this, and he does test these lubricants and chain waxes over a period of time. And as it stands at the moment, apparently, he's the biggest data resource for that. Now, why would you come out against somebody who's the biggest data resource for that before, you know, it just seemed loaded. Anyway, cutting that long story short, and that's my opinions, he asked me to take down the Brew News website, saying that I've doxed information on it. Now, there was no fucking information doxing at all. I referenced that website, like I'm going to do in a minute, and I referenced it. I'm not going to read it out. I referenced it, and I didn't change anything. So I've not doxed it. I've not sensationalized it at all. So that was completely wrong. And I just said, look, explain it here if you want to. You know, I've got 40 subs, and I haven't even got 1,000 views. Now, this is when I've restarted my channel again. I've only have 40 subscribers. And I just said, look, just mate, there's loads of shit going on. I'd already had Bike Farmer in the comment section being a wise ass. He didn't like something that I said, and he's fucking getting on my back and being abusive to someone else who was actually really nice to him. But then he actually writes this about the privacy. Now, privacy on YouTube guidelines, and it says, you know, what is it? What can I report as a privacy violation? Now, if he's saying, well, what can I report? He's obviously going to report me. So this is what he's making clear to me. Image, full name, reference to images, audio, video, footage, or text that uniquely identifies you. Now, it didn't uniquely identify him, because nobody knows your name. There's been no name. You know, I've not named you and said this is your name at all. Nobody knows your fucking name. You can use as many aliases as you want. That's it. But also, the photos of you are owned by Brew Sports, and that Brew Sports and these news snippets, that would mean that not one person on YouTube can reference a Sun news article. It's called Brunei Sports News, Reginald. It's not a personal piece that you wrote for yourself and a letter that I've got hold of, or I've hacked your account and taken something. It's Brunei Sports News. Now, as it stands under YouTube's fair use policy, and needless to say, this video has not been taken down, you are allowed to use news snippets and refer to them. He can't copyright me for that, because he doesn't own the rights to it. Brunei Sports News does. Now, this news snippet, and I'll go on to that in a minute, and I'll just quickly roll over it so you can see, for evidence, was actually a promotional piece for his Lightspeed distribution for Brunei. Now that's where I think this whole thing has come. Now if you've got to this point, that's the crux of this. With Reginald making out that he only rides titanium because he has, you know, it's not personal. He does it because, sorry, it's his own personal preference. There's nothing in it for him. He doesn't shill products. He doesn't do that. Well, that's absolute horse shit. He was the distributor for Brunei, and you know, this was a snippet from 2017. So as you can see here, this is the new snippet. I'm not going to go, you know, I'm just going to fly through it. So you can see that doesn't matter if it's his own bike, whatever that is. It doesn't matter if it's a bike that he rides now. It doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter whatever it was. But you can absolutely see that there is a... he profits from this. So quickly as well, I'm going to go on his website. And the reason that, you know, it became clear to me was the video. Go on his video, watch it. I'll promote that for him. I don't mind at all. I mean, I can, you know... it's no skin off my nose. I'm happy to promote these people so you can get a bit of context of what I'm saying, and it adds weight to what I'm saying then. But a titanium swan song for Lightspeed, it was bullshit. That wasn't a swan song at all. Please go on and watch it for the context I'm saying there. My opinion, I think you will agree with my opinion on this if you watch that video, that took a long time on that 28-minute video, calling out Lightspeed for their poor promotion and their poor ability to get their name out there and to expose their own company. Now it does become clear that really, you know, this guy's a distributor. He's not a dealer. He's a distributor for Lightspeed. Now, if you're championing something, it's nothing wrong with you riding it. Nothing wrong with you supporting the brand that you distribute, and there's nothing wrong with you feeling that they're the best thing ever and you bought them in for that reason. But if you want to start calling other people out and saying, well, you know, I don't shill my own goods, well, obviously you fucking do, because every time that you said buy a Lightspeed, I only saying this because this is what I like. It wasn't just what you liked. You are the distributor for Lightspeed. You've been that since 2017, which is evident from that news article, and you are no longer that. And that's where I got the evidence there. I was like, right, okay. It's very simple to see. I'm not a fucking investigator. But this whole spat itself and the whole threats about, you know... So basically, you want a video taken down. Possibly because anyone that really fucking, you know, comes and actually complains to YouTube, it's very easy for them to... for YouTube to just shadow ban you. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's either incoming or I'm under that now. And that will hinder your ability to get any information out. But if you do just go on that video and you will see straight away his motivations to do things. And his motivation, what comes across to me, is that he likes to be right, constantly be right. And he does like to control the narrative, much like Hambini, much like Zero Friction Cycles. You know, they don't want you saying anything against them or having a disagreement with them, or even asking them questions, really, that they don't agree with. And if you do, you're just fucked off. So, you know, I'm not coming out against, you know, Zero Friction Cycling. I'm not going to come out against him. He was exactly right, whether I like him or not. He was exactly right in this incident with Reginald Scot. And, you know, that they are the facts. Now, Reginald Scot thinks they're not the facts, but the facts is that it's very clear that he didn't want that news article out there, pretty much because he is or was a distributor for Lightspeed. Now, so what? It's a news article. So what? It only becomes a problem if you are saying that you're not representing a product, or you haven't really been honest about that, and you are going to make your own personal profit from that. The way that it pisses me off is that I don't know why he's come out against my channel. That was never my intention. That's not what has happened. And that video was not even released then. So whether or not he made that video and put that in the can and the pipe, and then decided, well, I'm still going to release this video. But he was really negative about Lightspeed, and he was very clear then, well, I'm no longer the distributor for Lightspeed. there's endless amounts of things that you could fucking laugh on that video where he's actually saying, you know, what he would have done. And this is what he does a lot of time. What I would have done if I was in the position of power. You know, if I ran Lightspeed, well, you don't fucking run Lightspeed. You never will. And they don't want you to do their marketing for them. But why would they want you to do the marketing for them if you're in Brunei? You can't sell any of the product that they've got. And if you're only fucking interested in selling people rim brake bikes. Now, rim brake bikes, doesn't matter if you're Brunei or fucking India or fucking Canada or wherever else. At the moment, rim brake bikes are not the in thing. So for you to represent that and be a fashionista and push that forward, you know, is fucking mindless. It's pointless. It's not just mindless. It's mindless of yourself, but it's pointless for the fucking actual person who owns the brand, because they're never going to use you, or you're not even going to be able to come into a conversation with them and give them advice on anything that they will take seriously, because you don't represent their brand. You don't even fucking represent anything that's going to be able to sell. You've got nothing to give to them, because they do predominantly disc brake titanium bikes now, and all you ever go on about is fucking rim brake bikes and rim brake technology being the best. And you know, road bikes can ride, you can ride off road and gravel on 25mm tires. You know, it's just fucking horse shit. It's just horse shit. So whether you can prove that you can ride across grass on 25mm is fine, you know, but people that really want to ride gravel in varied conditions aren't going to ride 25mm. They're going to ride minimum 35mm. So like come on, you know, we all know that. Come on, let's not be fucking stupid about this. But it meets the narrative to keep him correct, and obviously he's going to go around and prove that he can ride across grass, and that to him is gravel, or drive on the shale track, you know, and that's, oh, it was a piece of gravel, cat litter. You know, it was cat litter shale, and I could ride it on the 25mm, and look at me, I'm so good. It's just fucking horse shit. Anyway, they're my opinions, backed up with some facts. This was a weird experience. Needless to say, you know, I do think he's been shilling, really. Or I think he's tried a fine line, and I think him trying to hide the fact of this was down to never it being a fact that I'd broken any rules on YouTube. It was more the fact that he didn't want anyone to see this article, because it was very clear that he's been a distributor for Lightspeed for many years. Now, he's just one of many that will do this. One of many that are selling themselves on integrity and honesty, and they're just full of shit. And they're still selling. They've got to sell to you, or they've got some other thing that, you know. Okay, thanks for getting to the end of this one. Please like, please subscribe. And all I can say is I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.